Sweety loved escargot. That's funny how you remember those things.
Sweety?
Sweetie who?
Sweety Nelson, one of my oldest friends, she passed away yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry, Grandma.
Yeah, I've heard you mention her.
Was she sick?
She'd been ill for some time, but still.
The family is pretty overwhelmed.
By the way, Davis called late today. The funeral's going to be Sunday.
Was that her real name, Sweety?
No, her name was Melinda. Sweety was a nickname.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
I mean, how'd they get Sweety from Melinda?
They didn't get Sweety from Melinda. Sweety is a nickname.
Yes, I know Sweety was a nickname, but usually a nickname comes from a version of your name, or there's a story behind the name or something.
She was sweet. That's the story.
Okay.
She had a very sweet nature. Well, what kind of story did you want, Lorelei?
No, that's fine. She was sweet. They called her Sweety. It's a good story.
No, really, exactly what kind of story about my recently departed friend would amuse you?
Mom, it's not to amuse me. It's...
All right, fine. Sweety's father was a very poor man. So poor that Sweety and her 4 siblings all had to sleep in a hollowed-out tree trunk because the house was only big enough for their parents. One winter there was no food, so Sweety crawled out of her trunk, wrapped her feet in newspaper, and walked 40 miles in the snow to the nearest town where she stumbled into a candy store. The owner took pity on her and gave her bags of candy, a dill pickle, and drove her back to her family. He promptly offered a job to her father, who gladly accepted and eventually owned that store and turned it into one of the most important candy emporiums in the world. And that is how she got the name Sweety. There, how was that?
Now that was a pretty good story.